AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Music. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Lyle Collins next hour. In about 15 minutes, I'm going to run through the current LSU baseball signees and what their draft projections are, meaning who is likely to sign, who is likely to show up on campus, who are the ones we're going to be sweating out over the 2 days of the draft. That's coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. LSU just a couple of weeks away from the start of fall camp. Redshirt freshman offensive lineman Ory Williams will be out there. Right now, he's with us. Ory, great to have you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing awesome. We appreciate a couple of minutes. You know, I would love to know, as a guy who came in last year as a freshman and now going through this June workout period, how different is it for you this year compared to when you were here last June?
Well, I want to say for last June, I was a freshman coming in, so I didn't really know what to expect, and I was trying to take the back seat. I had Will Campbell, Emery Jones, Miles Dellinger, and Miles Frazier sitting in front of me, so I was just trying to take from them and learn the best I could and the insides out of the offense, and so I took that, and for this June, it was a complete transition. I feel like it's going good. It's going way better than the first time, and we're really moving up.
What do you think is the biggest difference?
Really, the biggest difference is, I got to step into my role. I didn't come here to sit on the bench. I came here to play. So really stepping out of my shell and being that vocal guy and that guy that's just trying to outwork everybody.
Yeah. It's interesting, man, because you're a giant. You're listed at 6'8", 335. Is that accurate, by the way? I'm sure you all weigh each other in height, weight, all that stuff in fall camp. What are you right now, height, weight?
Yeah, we weighed in this morning, actually, for the list. I was weighed in at 6'8", 336. I want to say 336.8.
Okay. That's pretty darn accurate. 6'8", 336.8. So, you go out there and you play in one game as a freshman. Or was it difficult to sit and watch for a guy who is so highly touted? You show up on campus and then you kind of have to go through that, like you said, with all those veterans ahead of you?
Well, honestly, during my recruiting process with Coach Davis, the whole time, it wasn't. He told me he wasn't going to throw me in that water because we got veterans ahead of me, and I really, didn't have much, don't have much experience coming in. You know what I mean? So it wasn't hard considering the fact, Coach Davis kept it real with me and told me that, I'm not going to be able to play much because he wants me to learn the offense. So when I do play, it don't look sloppy or none of that. So. It was a hit to the heart, but you got to take it on chin and learn. So that's what I did.
Yeah, man. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about Brad Davis. What's it like playing for him?
Coach Davis, he's a great coach. The things people see on the internet, him ripping us and all that. That's part of his job. But other than that, he's a great coach. He's there to listen. He's there to help. He all around. He's there's a lot of things I can say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But Coach Davis, he's a great coach. He's a great coach. He knows a lot. He's very knowledgeable, and I'm glad to be playing under him.
Yeah, or man, like when they let us, the media, go out to practice, like you put a blindfold on me, I could find where the offensive line is just by listening for Brad Davis. You know what I mean? Like,
no doubt. No doubt.
The other thing you mentioned, which is so interesting, you mentioned guys like Will Campbell and wanting to learn from him. There was a moment last year in fall camp. I shared this with our audience, but there was a moment last year in fall camp. Y'all were doing like one-on-one pass rush drills, and you lost a rep. And I remember I was standing right there, and Will Campbell, he didn't say, it wasn't loud. He walked up to you and just said something. I don't know what he told you. Something kind of just low-key, casual, whatever, and then you won your next rep. And that was really indicative, I think, of his leadership style. What did you learn from from Will, from Emery Jones specifically as a freshman?
Really, so when I came in, there's a big, they preached, the offensive line preaches bomb squad, and that means something more than football. It's hard work, it's grit, it's never giving up on your brother. I got you, you got me. So, when that happened, in that situation when that happened, everybody gets in their head after they lose a rep. I think Will saw that. He came up to me and he told me what I needed to correct, and he gave me a little word of encouragement, and I won that next rep. But learning from them, I just learned grit. Like, you got to bite down on your mouthpiece and go. Emery Jones, he is a tough MF. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Learning from all of them, that's one thing they learned is toughness. I learned from them is toughness and grit. That's what you got to have.
LSU redshirt freshman offensive lineman Ory Williams hanging out with us here, courtesy of our friends over at the AP Sports Agency. Those guys have been awesome, man. They've been good enough to connect us with guys like AJ Halsey and Bernard Gooden, and now Ory Williams as well. Hey, I want to ask you also, man, the value of spring football. I know we're going into fall camp, but you go through June workouts, fall camp, your redshirt, and then you come back in spring and you get an opportunity to get back out there when the deck is cleared a little bit, right? The 4 starters we talked about are gone. What was the value of spring football for you this year?
It was big. It was showing that I'm more than my size. I can go out there and play with the best of them. And, it was really just a big step forward into showing Coach Davis that, he can trust me and I can get on the field and play. So really this whole spring, I was just trying to show Coach that, I'm reliable and I can get on that field.
Yeah. We get to go out and see a good bit, but not everything. So, you're listed as a tackle. That's primarily where we see you, but do you cross-train ever? Do you play tackle and guard when you're out there?
I do play tackle and guard. Right now, during spring, I play the majority of guard in spring. And I've kind of adjusted to it a little bit. I like it a little bit more. I'm not going to lie, but if I need to play tackle, I can. It's good to be good at both. You know what I mean? What
did you like more about guard?
More about guard. So at guard, and that's one thing I learned about from Miles Frazier. You just got to be physical. And so, coming up with them this last June, I got beat on. So now it's time for me to beat on them.
Man, I love that, dude. Sounds like you got the right attitude going into this year. I think the assumption here is that some of the transfers coming in are going to take those spots. DJ Chester is there. Is this an open competition to win jobs in fall camp?
Of course, everybody's going for a starting job right now. We got a young line. We got a young group, so we're all going for a starting job. No job is secure right now.
You check his phone real quick if you would. I just want to make sure. It sounded like his phone might have checked out. I have a follow-up I want to ask him. We'll see if we can get Ory back. And again, thanks to our friends over at AP Sports Agency for hooking us up with Oregon, making this conversation happen. Good? Okay, awesome. Yeah, sorry about that, Ory. I think your phone just kind of went out a little bit on us there. Last year, a giant talking point on the season was the struggles running the football. It was a thing. How much of a focus has that been for you all, the offensive line, this offseason?
It's been a main focus for us, That's the big thing we harp on is running the ball. We're a run-the-ball-first offense, you know what I mean? So, Brian, Coach Kelly, that's what he harps on. We go through the O-line. Nothing goes through the O-line. If we're not moving the ball and creating a line of scrimmage, then what can we do? You know what I mean?
Hey, Ory, give me a guy on that offensive line who, because you have, as you mentioned, 4 starters are gone, a whole bunch of new faces and names. Give me somebody, a name that like impresses you, that you go, dude, like watch that guy. Athleticism, speed, power, whatever. Who? Say again?
Current.
Why?
Current. He's an athlete all around. He's a dude. You know, he's strong as ever. You know, and he just comes in with the right mindset and attitude every day, ready to work. And he can definitely move people off the ball. He's a freak of nature.
Have you seen?
Keep around.
Have you seen the video of him doing a backflip?
I have. I was supposed to be there. I was out of town that day, but I see it was crazy. It was crazy. He does it all the time in practice.
Could you do a backflip?
Me? Could I do a backflip? No, but I could definitely do a cartwheel.
Okay. Could you do?
I could definitely do a cartwheel.
Could you do a backflip on a trampoline?
On a trampoline, yes, I could. I cannot land it, but I can do the backflip.
Okay. Respect, man. What's your party trick? If Karis Kern can do a backflip, what's your party trick?
I can juggle.
Okay. How many items can you juggle at once?
3. I'm right there at the standard. I just started yo-yoing. Now yo-yoing is my thing. I can yo-yo like a master.
Okay. Can we get video proof?
I can. I'll make a video. I'll go by yo-yo. I'll make a video and I'll shoot y'all with it.
All right. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is I am Big O Baller.
I am Big O Baller, and I'm following you right now. Now you got to go do a yo-yo video. See, I see you cleaned up your feet here, man. But look, go do a yo-yo video, post it, or send it to me, and I'll post it and collab with you and all that stuff. Bro, I promise you, man. If you're as legit a yo-yoer as you're saying you are, we'll get that to go viral. I promise you.
Oh, well, let's do it. I got you. I'll send you the video in the next couple of days.
All right, perfect. Ory, good health, good luck this season, man. We appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thank you.
Sounds like good. Thank you for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Ory Williams, LSU redshirt freshman offensive lineman. Man, love that. Love to get your feedback. You want to react to it, feel free. You can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. That's a guy who maybe one day would go to SEC Media Days and crush it. By the way, our coverage of SEC Football Media Days next week is presented by Parrish Construction and Roofing. Remember, we are giving away $10,000 cash. All you have to do is sign up for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection at parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Go to parrishbuilt.com. We will draw for the winner on Friday, July 18th. So a week from Friday, the Friday we get home from Media Days, we're drawing for the $10,000 winner. Again, go to parrishbuilt.com to enter to win the $10,000 cash giveaway. Parrish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know, parrishbuilt.com. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Of course, when we come back, LSU's baseball signees, the high school prospects. I've got the list of the guys that we're going to be sweating out for the draft, and I'll empty my notebook for you when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, big shout out to Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Builders. He was over at Casa de Scone earlier today. I don't really call my house Casa de Scone. I just did it for this live read, sorry. But, we got a trampoline in our backyard. It's on a little side patch of grass that Drew doesn't really use much anymore. Our nieces and nephews are getting older. They don't really use the trampoline anymore. And so there's a big patch of dead grass and dirt underneath it. So if I get rid of the trampoline, do I resod it? What do I do? I thought, well, Duplessis actually does putting greens as well. They're gorgeous putting greens. Like, what if I reconfigured this space with an awesome putting green little chipping area as well? So Derek is over at my house today to take a look at the space and give me a proposal. So if it's that, if it's an outdoor kitchen, if it's building a pool from scratch, if it's remodeling or renovating your current pool, you want to beautify your outdoor space, let Duplessis Builders help. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She likes the way it's pulling while we're tilling up her land. She's even kind of crazy about my farmer's tan. She's the only one who really understands what...
Big shout out to our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Of course, it's not only tractors and combines, but Zero-turn mowers. That grass is growing fast right about now. You want that zero-turn mower, that John Deere Gator, you know where to get it. Sunshine, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Proud partner of LSU Athletics. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. The Major League Baseball draft starts on Sunday, and when the 2-day draft ends, we will have a much clearer picture of what the LSU baseball roster will look like for 2026. There are certain things that are a given. Cade Anderson's probably going to be the number one pick in the draft, but either way, he's going to sign a pro contract and he'll be gone. Anthony Ianson will be a late first, early second-round pick. Bear Jones is probably a fourth, fifth round pick, and he's going to sign. Some of these, Daniel Dickinson will certainly sign. He'll be gone. Jacob Meyer. Some of these we know. A lot of the real questions, though, come into play when we start talking about the high school signees. And this is always the interesting question because all of these guys, like if you are being recruited by LSU, you are a draft, just by correlation, you are a draftable prospect out of high school. So it comes down to, all right, well, what do you value? Do you want the college experience, whatever NIL rev share you're going to get, the opportunity to avoid long bus rides as an 18-year-old staying in crappy motels in minor league cities, to fly private and play in front of 10,000 people, all the things we talk about. But it really comes down to guys who have their number and do they stick to it. What's it going to take for you not to show up at LSU or whatever college campus you've signed with and instead sign a pro contract? So it comes down to guys if they get that number during that draft process. So I've done this for the past handful of years, and it's always a pretty popular segment. I think a lot of people appreciate the information because, quite honestly, the recruiting information for baseball just isn't as plentiful as it is for football. Like there's no on-3 for baseball. I mean, you've got Perfect Game, which does a really good job of managing a lot of the prospects and their all their measurables, their combine numbers and everything like that. But it's not like the recruiting process that's so public for high-level football players from the time. Look at Elijah Haven, who just finished his freshman year of high school. He's or a sophomore year now, and he's already like blowing up after being a freshman. So it's you sometimes have to dig to find information on these guys. So I figured I've done this past couple of years. I've tapped into a lot of my resources, major league scouts that look at these guys. I mean, keep in mind, like right now, you may not know this, but the Perfect Game National showcase is going on in Arizona right now at the Big League Park in Arizona. And it's a multi-day event. It's invite only. It's like the top 300 prospects in the country. And it's just littered with scouts and college coaches. And it's where all the best players come. And they go through all the combine numbers and drills. And that's how they're seen. And so you share a lot of information that way. And that's for the 2026 class, by the way. So I do my best during these weeks leading up to the draft to get as much information as I can on these guys, what people generally know about what their number is, how they're leaning, what they're thinking. Will they end up on campus? Will they not? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 LSU signees that throughout this draft process are going to have a decision to make. Now, the good news for LSU is, with the best information I have, of the 12, only 3 are virtual locks to sign pro contracts. So you got a 50-50 shot or better of getting 9 of these 12. And that doesn't even count the guys who are part of this class that are certainly going to show up on campus. I'll run through first the 3 that are almost certainly going to sign pro contracts. We'll start with Quentin Young. So Quentin Young is a legacy. Both of his uncles had long Major League Baseball career. He is going to go somewhere in the top 35 picks of this draft. Quentin Young is a 6'5", 215-pounder. He plays infield, might project to the outfield at the next level. But he is a true, legit, elite-level prospect who will be gone in the top 30, 35 picks of this draft. I mean, there is a less than 10% chance that he ends up on campus. Expect Quentin Young to be gone. I asked Muse for a little swipe between them. Brady Ebel is next. Brady Ebel, another shortstop out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. He is 6'3", 190 pounds. He bats left, throws right. Naturally, he's a shortstop. Throws right. His dad is the third base coach for the Dodgers. He's a legit big-time bat, but here's the challenge. Even though his dad is the third base coach for the Dodgers, this is a kid from California who, while he may not be a first-round projection, which he's not, it's not a situation where you grow up loving LSU when you're growing up in California, where it's like you're set to your $2 million number, whatever the case is, or you're going to go play for LSU because you love the Tigers. Now, he's committed to LSU, but this is a guy that's probably, as I'm told, a 60-40 lean to sign a pro deal. You're not expecting Brady Ebel to end up on LSU's campus. It would be a big surprise if you get him. And the third that you're not expecting is Jaden Foskey. So he is a 6'3", 210-pound shortstop out of Illinois, Willowbrook, Illinois, left-handed bat. And he's probably, while he plays shortstop in high school, he probably projects as an outfielder, can really run. But again, that's one of those where it's a 10% shot that he ends up on campus. So Young, Ebel, Foskey, expect those three to sign pro contracts. You're not expecting those three to show up on campus. The other 9 that are up in the air, you got a really good shot. Briggs McKenzie, he is a left-handed pitcher, 6'2", 185. He's out of North Carolina. He's 50-50. He's got funky mechanics, as I'm told, but the reason he maybe doesn't project highly from MLB scouts is that he probably tops out as an effective reliever. And when big league teams are looking to draft high school pitchers, they are looking for starters, not relievers. He's a guy that I'm told could step up on LSU's campus day one and be an effective reliever with some role out of the bullpen. But those guys don't typically go at the top of the draft coming out of high school. So Briggs McKenzie, 50-50, but very well could end up on campus. Dean Moss is another one of those guys that's 50-50. He's a 6-foot, 182-pound outfielder out of California. He's got really good tools. He does everything really well. The comp I was given for Dean Moss is Daniel Cabrera. And remember, Daniel Cabrera had a really solid LSU career. Can just do everything really, really well. But Dean Moss, another 50-50 guy who likely ends up on LSU's campus. Landon Hoge, they are fully expecting that he will end up as an LSU Tiger. He plays catcher, second, and in the outfield. Got a really good arm. And the interesting thing here is teams generally aren't interested in high school catchers. You don't. It's not that it's completely unheard of, but you don't typically see high school catchers at the top of the draft. So it's one of those things where because of the position he plays, he very likely does end up on campus. Again, that's Landon Hodge, 6'2", 195, also out of California. Interesting how many prospects Jay keeps getting out of the state of California. Obviously, his ties to the West Coast, but it's another thing. Miguel Sime, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Forgive me. Sime, 6'4", 235. He's a righty out of Queens, New York. This is, as I was told, the best right-handed arm from high school in the draft. He's the best right-handed high school arm in the draft. He is up to 101 with his fastball. The problem has been command. And with that, he is a high school reliever. You're not going to see high school relievers, go at the top of the draft. So if this is a guy that's not going to be a round 1 or 2 guy, what's his number? Does he end up on campus? By the way, these guys are already enrolled. So, I mean, they're enrolled for summer, and they're already on campus getting a taste of it right now, which does benefit LSU. But he's a 50-50 for LSU. Omar Cerna, we talked about him already. The catcher, who's already said that he is withdrawing his name from the draft. He will not sign. He's out of the Houston area in Pearland. He will be an LSU Tiger. William Patrick, another one who's already enrolled. 70% chance he ends up at LSU. William Patrick is a 6'2", 200-pound outfielder out of Monroe. He is one of the best athletes in the draft. I was told he's a better athlete than Jake Brown, who's the best athlete on LSU's team. 6'2", 215. His combine numbers were off the charts. The problem with William Patrick is that his swing is going to take a little time. He has good power, but it's a long swing. It's got to get shorter, more compact, and that's something that will take time. And when it does, you're talking about a guy that will project in the top of round 1 if the swing comes around. But William Patrick, again, a guy that very likely does end up on LSU's campus out of Monroe. River Hamilton, I'm hoping he ends up on campus just so we can talk to Sharif about him. That'd be fantastic. 6'3", 185. He's out of Wood Village, Oregon. You know any LSU baseball prospects from Oregon in the past? You got any views from Oregon? Not that I remember.
Not from the high school ranks, no. Yeah, no.
Anyway, River Hamilton, he's had injury problems, which has derailed a little bit of his senior year, which probably means he ends up at LSU. Before this season started, it was thought that River Hamilton was going to be an MLB signee. But this happens, man. This happened to Alex Bregman. This happened last year with Cade Arambidi. Guys have injuries. They struggle a little bit in their senior season. Their draft stock dips. If they stay true to their number, they end up on campus. That's likely to happen here with River Hamilton. The other two guys, Mason Braun is one that we're going to be keeping an eye on. Mason Braun is a 6', 195-pounder out of South Bend, Indiana. Good on you, Jay Johnson, going up to South Bend to steal a prospect out of there. 80% chance he ends up at LSU. He does not have a scouting profile. Like big league scouts do not look at Braun, who's a 6', 195-pound first baseman, as a guy with a scouting profile right now. So he likely ends up on campus. And lastly is Reagan Ricken, another one that I'm really hoping. I mean, like I don't want to get Sharif's rating just yet because it feels a bit premature. But Reagan Ricken feels pretty good, yeah?
That's strong, yeah. I mean, I think it is at least.
It's not one of Sharif's criteria is that it has to be a unique first name. And you hear the name Reagan from time to time.
You do.
But the alliteration with Reagan Ricken.
That's so good.
Reagan Ricken.
I really want it to be Rickens, but it's not. It's Ricken.
It's Ricken. Reagan Ricken is actually better. They both end with N. Start with R, end with N.
True.
The alliteration's better. So Reagan Ricken, he is a 6'5", 220-pound pitcher out of Temecula. Again, another 70% chance that he ends up at LSU. So to recap, the three names that almost certainly are going to sign, everybody else, by the way, will end up at LSU. The three names likely to sign are Quentin Young, Brady Ebel, Jaden Fausk. Those are the three you're expecting are going to be drafted early and sign. Briggs McKenzie, Dean Moss, Miguel Sime, those are the three that are kind of 50-50 guys you'll be holding your breath on. But everybody else, it's overwhelmingly likely that they end up at LSU. So Jay Johnson and his staff could get really lucky keeping this number one ranked signing class together. And by the way, I talked to someone today who was in Arizona for the Perfect Game National and said the 2026 class at LSU blows the 2025 class out the water. So, Jay Johnson, his relentless efforts in recruiting do not go unnoticed, as we all are well aware. But the next crop, we'll find out which ones are going to be Tigers by, likely many of them by this weekend. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. I was actually over at Rouse's on Sunday. We're having Drew's birthday party this weekend, so was out stocking up on all the adult beverages, the beverages for the kiddos, the chips and the dips, and all the stuff like that. Of course, you could do it at Rouse's. Best place to shop for a party or for any day, it's at Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You can get to Rouse's.com. You can download the Rouse's app. Always encourage you to download the Rouse's app because it saves you time and money. Remember, pick out your items. Your personal shopper will go pick them up, pull into one of the designated spaces, and they bring it out to your car. It's at Rouse's. Summertime, y'all. Build your perfect burger. You're heading for the grill, that perfect steak. You can get it all at Rouse's. Everything you need. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all. Glad you're hanging out with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. We'll talk to Lyle Collins in 1 hour from right now. Lyle's got a camp coming to Baton Rouge this weekend with his former high school coach and the current mayor, Sid Edwards. So excited to have Big L on the show. We'll do that next hour. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, the biggest name remaining in free agency at cornerback, his dad was blasting one of the teams that Saints are in contention for his services. We'll tell you who next on AFR.
AFR.
90 degrees. 90. 90. I don't even want to check the heat index, but I'll tell you it's hot. And you know when it's 90 degrees with a heat index in the triple digits and your AC goes out, that sucks. So, if you're faced with that miserable situation, call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You can spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime. See, River City's 1 Hour Air, they value two things more than any other, your time and your money. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Where if they're 1 minute late, you don't come out of pocket 1 cent. And they value your money as well. They're going to give you a good, better, and best option, and you choose what's better for you, your family, your budget. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks. River City's 1 Hour Air.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
In about 21 minutes at the top of hour 3, I do want to talk about Brian Kelly and Austin Thomas adding another support staffer from Ole Miss. I think everybody saw that story on I think everybody saw that story on Monday night. If you didn't, Kelvin Bolden was a support staff member at Ole Miss. Worked with Austin Thomas there for a year. He'd been there the last 3 years. Now he's coming to Baton Rouge. I have some thoughts on that, why I think it's significant. We'll get to that here in about 22 minutes from right now at the top of hour number 3. We are about a week away, actually the 23rd, about 2 weeks away from the start of Saints training camp. They're set to report there on July 23rd. And it's obvious that while you have a 90-man roster right now, your final roster is far from set. Clearly, you're gonna have roster cuts to get down to 53, and then we always talk about the 53. It's never the final 53; it's the first 53 because as other teams cut, you're gonna ultimately sign other teams' free agents that were cut loose, that are players that you maybe see as more valuable than ones you have. So, long ways from the roster being set, but one of the players that has been tied to New Orleans this offseason, has visited the New Orleans Saints already, is Asante Samuel Jr. because he had played in Los Angeles for the Chargers under Saints defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. So that tie is a very natural fit why the free agent cornerback could work in New Orleans, understands the defense, the defensive coordinator, there's a relationship, the Saints staff is interested in Samuel Jr. and all that sort of stuff. For what it's worth, Asante Samuel Jr. is recovering from neck surgery. He only played in 4 games a year ago. And in May, the Dolphins were showing interest in Asante Samuel Jr. And it would stand to reason that the Dolphins have even more interest now after trading Jalen Ramsey. They're in need of a good starting caliber cornerback. Well, Asante Samuel Jr.'s father, longtime NFL defensive back Asante Samuel Sr., was on his podcast called Say What Needs to Be Said with Asante Samuel Sr. Creative. Call a thing by its name. And Asante Samuel Sr. just laid into the Miami Dolphins. Give a listen.
Dolphins had no reason to trade Jalen Ramsey other than they're sensitive. There's no leadership in the Dolphins organization. Mike McDaniels is a pushover. Chris Greer, the general manager, he has no backbone. These guys over here at the Miami Dolphins, they are running this team like a little league team. No one can stand up to the players. They're terrified of their own players, and they have no control over their players.
I mean, I could just see Asante Jr. calling and going, Dad, shut where are you? I'm trying to get a job. What are you doing? It's only 32 of these, man. I guess when you're out of the league and say what you want, you say what you want anyway. And Asante Samuel Jr. has Senior has a lot of cachet. And I don't think he's saying anything that any of us would disagree with. By the way, this dropped into my inbox today from sportsbetting.ag, the updated odds for the first NFL coach to be fired. Brian Daboll of the Giants has the best or worst odds, at depending on who you ask, at 4-1. Next is Mike McDaniel of Miami at 5-1. So he ain't wrong. But when your son is trying to get a job, I don't think Miami, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not in the front office of Miami, but it stands to reason if you're the Dolphins brass, you're looking at it going, okay, why would we sign this player when his dad is on a podcast ripping our organization? Do you really want that distraction? Now, a lot of that is weighed and measured by how good the player is. The better player you are, the more you're going to get away with. Naturally, that's true in every sport. Dennis Rodman's kicking cameramen in the groin. It doesn't matter. Dennis Rodman's, we also on The Last Dance. He's taking his own vacation during the NBA Finals to Vegas because he needed to blow off some steam. Well, he was the worm, and he was one of the best rebounders in the history of the NBA. Yeah, Dennis, go take your time in Vegas and just make sure you're back here for tip-off. Like, when you're the last guy on the roster trying to make the team, you're not going to get that same leniency. And Asante Samuel Jr. has been a good defensive back, but he's coming off a neck injury where he played only 4 games. I mean, for a dude that's later on in his career and is coming off a really serious injury that's had injury problems, like, it's not like teams are rushing to sign him. And his dad popping off probably doesn't help. I'm not saying he's wrong, and he's certainly entitled to his opinion. He's doing a show. That's fine. It's great content, but probably not great for your son's opportunity to get a job. And I think you, by extension, if you're New Orleans, you might say, well, great. That opens up the door for the Saints to be able to sign him if Miami's not interested. Maybe, but I could look at it also and say, if you're the Saints and you're trying to brand a new culture, do you want to introduce that into your locker room where you're trying to get younger, you're going to have a rookie quarterback? Like, what happens if you sign Asante Samuel Jr. and after the first game, let's say the Saints lose and Tyler Shuck throws 3 picks, is Asante Samuel Sr. going to go on his podcast and annihilate Kellen Moore and a rookie quarterback? Like, is that what you want around the organization? I mean, there was a lot of that with Eli Apple and his mother Annie. And again, I'm not saying people shouldn't be have an opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, but also understand that with that opinion comes consequences. Like, I'm not an NFL player, but I live with that every day of my life. I sit here and I give you very loud, passionate opinions. And as a result, look, a lot of people like it. A lot of people love the show, have for a long time. A lot of you don't. And that's okay. And so I got to live with that. I always say the worst part about being in the opinion media is giving opinions because you're going to piss a lot of people off. So do you, but understand that's at least going to pose the question for New Orleans. And listen, New Orleans is a team that desperately needs starting caliber cornerbacks. You're going into this season with Kool-Aid McKinstry and Quincy Riley, the rookie out of Louisville, maybe? I mean, is Isaac Yiadom the answer as a starter in the NFL? Alontae Taylor is a slot or a safety. I mean, his PFF grades were among the worst in the NFL last year when he moved to corner after you had, you traded Lattimore and you had the injury to Paulson Adebo. So you're going to tell me you have a when healthy, a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback that you could sign, it's going to make you a better team. Is it worth the headache? That's the question the Saints will have to answer. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVA-MOR. Drink Evermore. Always got my Evermore here on set with me. I keep the 64-ounce bottles in my house. We also have the 20-ounce bottles, the 32-ounce bottles, depending on what you want. I mean, these are great. You take a 64-ounce bottle with you all throughout the day. You drink it. Make sure you stay hydrated. Listen, even if you're inside all day, sometimes we forget to stay hydrated. It's a great part of your overall health. And, of course, making sure you're healthy this time of year when it's so hot outside. We lose a lot of things our body needs to stay hydrated and stay healthy. It's Evermore. Drink Evermore. EVA-MOR, Evermore.com. Available online and at great local retailers. EVA-MOR, Evermore.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Tuesday show is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Final break of Hour 2. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros coming up next hour. I do want to give you my thoughts on LSU hiring that Ole Miss staffer. The Saints have teased a new helmet design. Lyle Collins will be here in about 45 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
I just found out that we're going to be doing a show at the Watermark coming up here in a few weeks. Tell you more about that when we have details. But the Watermark in downtown Baton Rouge, I tell you often, is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. It wins all the awards. The Watermark Hotel is the picture of luxury in downtown Baton Rouge. And even if you're not, I mean, look, it's great for a staycation. Maybe you didn't take that vacation this summer to the beach or wherever. A great staycation could be staying at the Watermark in downtown Baton Rouge. Maybe you're listening from outside of Baton Rouge. Come into Baton Rouge. Stay at the Watermark downtown. Dine at the Gregory. See what downtown Baton Rouge has to offer. Visit LSU's campus. Ton to do. But the Watermark, y'all, it's right there. It's the old Louisiana National Bank building that they've converted into this gorgeous, sprawling hotel where they've maintained so much of the historical significance of that building while adding the modern amenities. It's the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge. Check it out today. Watermark, Baton Rouge.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
Wrapping up hour number 2, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. We are powered by Sunshine. We are painted in green in studio every single Tuesday, thanks to our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Muso Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Well, it might not be long for Gage Jump.
Oh!
Saw this today. Baseball America reporting Gage Jump is now the top prospect in the the Sacramento Athletics organization.
Hey, are they going by the Sacramento A's?
I have
or are they still going by the Oakland A's that just play in Sacramento?
I think they're just going by the Athletics. Like, I don't think they have a city attached to them, but they're playing in Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. But he's the top prospect in their organization now, again, per Baseball America. Remember, 2 levels of minor league ball for him. Started in high A, dominated, got moved up to double A. He's got a 1.90 ERA in 9 starts. Has punched out 49 and 47 and a third. Might not be long. Gage Jump, number 1 prospect in the A's organization. Paul Gervais was on the bump in relief for the Rays last night against first-place Tigers. 2 innings, gave up 2 homers. Those were the earned runs, but did strike out 3 in his 2 innings of relief as well. Did not factor into the decision. Josh Smith. He got snubbed again. You see that?
I did. You think I missed that?
Yeah. Came off the 2 years in a row. Let's clean it up. Came off the bench in a pinch hit opportunity, delivered double, his 13th of the year.
That's what we do.
And it drove in a run. Josh Smith, 285, 13 doubles, just shy of 30 RBI. What are we doing? This is just a shame. Should be in the All-Star game. Angel Reese. Nope. See, that's an all-boys school. Mm-hmm. And plus, she's from Maryland. She went 5-9 from the floor, double-double, 22 points, 15 boards. The Sky stinks, so they got dominated again. But Angel Reese, another good night, another double-double. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Y'all, this is the time. look, you know what it's like. You're sitting there listening to me right now. You know what it's like. Hunting season will be here before you know it in the fall, and you're going to be sharing that lease again, and you're going to be annoyed by someone else killing your buck, and you're going to be annoyed by someone else waking you up or just being annoying, and you're going to say, one day, I'm going to get my own piece of property. Well, let that day be today, or at least let today be the day you make that first phone call. First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. You can learn more about First South Farm Credit. You can see all the locations, whichever location is nearest you. And it doesn't matter. You're trying to buy 20 acres in St. Francisville, 100 acres in Mississippi, 500 acres in New Mexico. You want to buy land in the lower 48? First South Farm Credit can help you do it. So go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com for First South Farm Credit. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Former Tiger great Lyle Collins will be here in 35 minutes. Excited about that. Right after SportsCenter, we'll come back, and I got some thoughts on LSU hiring another support staff member from Ole Miss. It's going to be a different spin on it and why this is relevant that maybe you haven't heard yet. We'll get to that. So excited about it as Hour 3 is staring us straight in the face. Jimmy's back today as well, so we will have auto locks. Hour 3 next.
After further review.
Had a meeting over at the Parish office today, and the folks over at Parish Restoration were running their trucks in and out all day. So many of your friends and neighbors, business owners trust Parish Restoration. This is the patented non-toxic dry fog treatment I've told you about for years now. You want to kill mold, you want to move odor, you want to get rid of other harmful pathogens down to the spores, you want Parish Restoration. It's the most effective and the most cost-effective treatment. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com is a little form on the homepage. Take it 30 seconds to fill it out. Someone will be in touch immediately with you as you'll get a quote, what it'll take to completely clean and to sanitize that space, whatever it may be. Maybe it's after water intrusion or a fire. Maybe you need to get rid of pet odor, smoke odor, whatever it is. Parish Restoration can help. Go to parishrestoration.com. That's parishrestoration.com.